Hey everybody, it's me, Greg Boston, president of QuickBooks Made Easy for Nonprofits, coming at you with this month's quick tip to help those of you that are using QuickBooks Desktop. This tip is for the first week of March 2024, and it specifically has to do with prepaid costs. Now, this is almost more of an accounting thing than a QuickBooks thing, but we're going to show you how to deal with it in QuickBooks. So, sometimes you have to pay for things in advance, all right? And so an example would be maybe you have a special fundraising event at a venue, and the venue makes you pay for the space in advance, even though it's not happening for a few months. Another example is insurance. Your liability insurance, a lot of times you have to pay for that up front for the whole year or for 6 months. So I'm going to show you what people do a lot and how it can create a problem when they're looking at their reports, okay? So I'm going to pull up where is my little P&L budget to actual, and let me just zoom in on this a little bit. All right, so in this example, this organization, their fiscal year starts July, okay? I know yours may start January and end in December. This one starts in July and ends in June, okay? So only 1 month of the fiscal year has gone by. July. And this organization budgets by month. And if you've taken my other trainings, you understand how to budget by month. It's really kind of a great way to look at budget to actuals. So 1 month, the budget column represents 1 month of what the expenses should be. Okay. So I'm going to go down to liability insurance, and you'll see that according to this, and this happens a lot, when you budget by month, you're like, well, in general, it costs me around $450 a month for insurance, and so that's how I'm going to do my budget. I'm going to budget by month. I'm going to put $450 in each month. That is GAAP accounting. You're spreading the cost throughout the year, regardless of when you pay it. Okay. So in this example, again, we're budgeting. We're spreading the cost throughout the year. $450 a month. Well, $458.37, right there. Here, let me put the little pointer on it. Right there, okay? And it's the first month of the year, and nothing's been paid yet. But let's say in the first month of the year, you're like, okay, I'm kind of showing you the problem, and then I'll show you how to address it. But say we're going to write a check, or maybe we're just going to pay our insurance with a draft, so we'll put EFT here. But the point is that we have to pay the whole thing in advance. Okay, so it's $5,414. Now, if I just expense this in the first month, I'm going to go ahead and save this. When I go over to my report, budget to actual, look at this. Now, liability insurance for the month of July, the first month of the year, is $5,414, but my budget was only $458 because I'm trying to spread the costs evenly through the year on my budget. So it makes it look like I overspent. So now I'm going to get a lot of questions from the board. Like, what the heck are you doing here? Why are we overspending? Well, we're not overspending. We just prepay. So one option is if you do budget by month, put the whole year's budget in the month you're going to pay for it. But that's not really generally accepted accounting principles. That's not really GAAP accounting. So if you really want to do this right, you should be spreading these costs evenly throughout the year, both in your budget as well as your actual. So what you really should be doing is you should set up an account in your chart of accounts list. I'm going to go to the chart of accounts list here, called Prepaid. Now, I called mine prepaid insurance because I only have one prepaid, which is insurance. If you have a lot of different types of prepaid costs, maybe you could just have one asset account called prepaid costs. But the point is, it is an asset account. All right. So what that means is when you initially pay the insurance, in this case, for the whole year, let me just pull this up again, instead of pointing it to an expense account, point it to the prepaid insurance, in this case, asset accounts. I'm going to go ahead and save that. Okay, so now when I look at this, you'll look and see the liability insurance is now back at 0, and the budget for the month is $458. If I look at the balance sheet, which which I think I have pulled up here. Yeah, the balance sheet has our prepaid of 5414. So then after you point it to a prepaid asset account, then you would want to expense it 1/12 a month for each month. How do you do that? Well, you do it by doing a journal entry. All right. So to do a journal entry, you go to Company and you click Make General Journal Entry. Now, I think I already have mine created. Here it is. And what you do is you take 1/12 of whatever the number is. It was 5414. I'm going to divide it by 12. So that's 451.17. So 451.17, 1/12. I'm going to increase liability insurance expense for the month of July 24, and I'm going to decrease prepaid insurance, 451.17. By the way, if you want to just kind of know how this works, if you want to make an expense account like liability insurance go up, you debit it. And if you want to make an asset account go down like prepaid insurance, you credit it. So there's my journal entry, okay? So here's the thing. Theoretically, I would need to do this journal entry once a month for the next 12 months. Well, I don't want to have to remember to do that. And so the next thing you would want to do is you want to make this entry a memorized transaction and memorize it so that it'll automatically occur 12 times and then it'll stop. Okay? So now I'm going to show you how to do that. Now I'm not saving this right now. I'm just going to click Memorize. Okay? And then I'm going to name the memorized transaction Prepaid Insurance expensing, I guess. Just put expensing. And I don't want to just add it to a reminders list. I don't want it not reminded. I want it automated. I want to automatically enter it so I don't have to think about it at all. So now I'm going to say, okay, what I want you to do is once a month on, it says the first day you want it to happen, July 01/24, okay? I want you to enter it. That's what you're basically telling it to do. And you're wanting to tell it to do it for 12 times and then stop. So what that means is when you open up your data file on July 1 of 2024, it's going to create a journal entry and it's going to expense 1/12, that 451.17. And then on August, it's going to do it. And then on September, it's going to do it 12 times and it's going to stop. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click OK. All right. So I don't even need to save this transaction. Okay, so I'm just going to get out of this altogether. But if you want to see your memorized transactions, you go to Lists and Memorize Transaction List. And there's my prepaid. I'll click on it, and I can just right-click on it, actually, and edit, and then you'll see how it's memorized, okay? Or I can double-click on it, and you'll see there it is, ready to go in July. Now, you don't need to do anything else. It's going to record automatically once a month. When you open up your data file on July 1 and then August 1, it's going to say, hey, I'm about to enter this. Are you cool with it? And you just say yes, and it'll enter it. But I'm going to go ahead and record this one just so you can see the effect on the financial statements, okay? So right now, prepaid is 5414. I'm going to click Save and Close. Look at prepaid now. Now it's 4962. It went down. And if you go to the profit and loss statement, now, let me just zoom in on this. Now liability insurance for the month of July is 451.17, and it more closely matches the budget. Obviously, we spent a little bit less than we thought we were going to when we created the budget, but it's not crazy like it was before. Okay, so that's basically how it works. I'm going to go back up to this memorized transaction list under lists and memorized transaction list. And I just want you to see that now it knows that you entered the one for July. So look, the next date is August. You see, it's smart. It's going to do it 11 more times and then it's going to stop. It's pretty cool. Okay, so that is the tip. I hope you liked it. I am going to go here to QuickBooks Made Easy. Now, if you found this video just willy-nilly, it wasn't like you were signed up for our little e-newsletter. When you go to QuickBooksMadeEasy.com, you'll get this little pop-up, and if you click the subscribe button right here, then you'll be able to add your name to the list, and we'll send you this little e-newsletter that gives you a link to this little quick tip. It's going to be twice a month. That's my goal anyway. And if you are interested in learning more, taking one of our trainings, if you go to courses and trainings and you go to webinars, this gives you a list of our webinars that are coming up. On April the 3rd, we have a Tracking Restricted Grants webinar that we're doing with Chronicle of Philanthropy. We've actually never taught with them before, so we're excited about this. This is on April 3rd. And then on June 4th, 5th, and 6th, we have our 3-day webinar series where we go through everything that you could ever want to know if you're a nonprofit using QuickBooks Desktop. Okay, so I think that's everything that I wanted to say. Oh, and we also have tech support agreements here where you can sign up for tech support. You can call us, you can email us, you can even ask for an appointment, and we'll join you via Zoom and remote into your computer and help you fix your QuickBooks. Go to tech support to sign up for it there. I think that's really all I needed to say. I hope you liked the tip, and talk to you later.